Shreya, tell something about briefly about you and your family.
Yes, sir. So I was born in Malda, which is a district in West Bengal, and currently I live in Kolkata. I graduated in 2020 from West Bengal National University of Juridical Sciences, Kolkata. And after that, sir, I worked with a law firm for a year. And since then, I've been preparing for judicial exams. My family consists of my mother and my elder sister. My father passed away before I entered college. He was a doctor. My mother is a homemaker, and my elder sister is a software engineer, and she's married and currently stays in Malmö, Sweden.
So, what studies you have done?
Sir, I completed my graduation in 2020, BLLB course.
Okay,
Uh, Sir, after that, I've not pursued any higher education.
okay. You said na you after that you were in some law firm.
Yes, sir,
For,
I worked for a year, sir.
okay. So, how was your experience there, and why you want to become a judge?
Sir, my
Join
experience,
judiciary,
yes, sir.
join judiciary as a judicial officer.
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to be a judicial officer ever since my first year in college. My first internship was with Honorable Justice D.K. Basu, who was then the executive chairman of the Legal Aid Services West Bengal. And so during his interaction with us, he really motivated all of us interns to become judges. He spoke about the satisfaction of the job that we get and the perfect equilibrium of having a job satisfaction at the personal level and also being able to contribute to the society.
Hmm.
Sir, however, due to certain financial constraints, when the opportunity to work at a law firm came along, I took it. And then, so when things got better, I decided to leave that job and start my preparation again.
Okay. So, can you tell that this about recent case of Kolkata?
Yes, sir. Sir, are you?
So,
Yes, sir.
if you are the judge, what order you should have be given in that?
Yes, sir. Um, Sir, I believe that the honorable judge, in his judicial discretion, after appreciating the facts and circumstances which were before him, has given a judgment. And so, since the judgment is not out yet in the public domain, without understanding the entire factual scenario, which he might have the opportunity to look at, so I won't be able to give any other opinion than he has given right now.
Mhm. Was it not a rarest of rare case?
Sir, as per him, it wasn't a rarest of the rare case because there were certain mitigating circumstances present, because of which life punishment was deemed as the appropriate punishment.
Hmm. So, how do you feel that how you can reform the judiciary? In your opinion, judiciary requires reforms?
So there are certain judicial delays which are present, which is acknowledged even by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Sanjeev Khanna. So, but at my level, I'm not sure if I'll be able to reform the judiciary. So, but I believe if I do my work well and adhere to the guidelines which has been given by the Honorable Supreme Court and the Honorable High Court, so I think if I do my part well, I can at least reform some part of it.
What role does the judiciary play in protecting the fundamental rights?
The judiciary is considered to be the guardian of protection of fundamental rights. If there is any violation of the fundamental rights of any citizen, the constitutional courts have the power to enforce it by means of writ jurisdiction given under Article 32 to the Supreme Court and under Article 226 to the High Courts.
How many type of writs are there?
Um, so there is habeas corpus, mandamus, quo warranto, prohibition, and certiorari.
Okay. What is in habeas corpus? The
So
role of the court and the police officers.
So the writ of habeas corpus is to ask for the body, literal, there's a literal meaning of it. In case of any illegal arrest or detention of the person, or if there is any executive action because of which the liberty of a person is deprived, then this writ can be exercised.
Okay. And what you feel that artificial intelligence and e-courts can make a difference in judiciary to reduce number of pending cases?
So I think artificial intelligence, if it's properly implemented, it can at least smoothline and streamline the process of administration of justice, while the role of judges, which it is the adjudicatory function, cannot be performed by AI. But
Hmm.
the process can be streamlined. There can be a proper case management setup that can be established with the help of an AI. So I think this would enable AI can also help in fixing cases depending upon the qualifications of judges. So, sir, in that case, the process can be streamlined.
What are the some recent cases, Supreme Court judgments, which are for the protection of the fundamental rights and PMLA?
Mm. Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall any judgment of the PMLA, sir.
Okay. And for fundamental rights?
Sir, very recently, the Honorable Supreme Court passed the judgment of Vihan Kumar versus State of Haryana, wherein they stated that if the grounds of arrest is not informed to the person, that will be violation of their fundamental right under Article 22, Clause 1, and that will vitiate their arrest, and they are entitled to bail immediately.
Was there any judgment on right to speech by Supreme Court recently?
So in 2023, there was a judgment of Kaushal Kishore versus Union of India by the Honorable Supreme Court regarding right to speech. And so there was the electoral bonds case as well, which considered the right to speech.
Mhm.
So I can only recall these two, sir, right now.
Okay. So can you tell that what is the difference between an order and decree?
Yes, sir. Sir, order and decree has been defined under the Civil Procedure Code. A decree is the formal expression of the final adjudication about the rights of the parties, whereas order is also the expression of a decision, but it is not a decree. So it will not conclusively determine the rights of the parties.
So you mean to say that decree cannot be order and order cannot be decree?
Mm. Sir, a decree cannot be an order, but an order can be a decree.
Okay, good. How do you pursue that these fast track courts will be helping? Do you have any idea how many cases are pending in India?
Sir, more than 5 crore, but I'm not certain of the exact number, sir.
No, no issue. Whether these fast track courts and other mechanism like ADR and other things can help in reducing the number of cases?
Sir, definitely, sir. I believe they can be very instrumental in reducing the number of cases which is pending before the court.
Hmm.
So the government has also brought the Mediation Act, which was enacted in 2023. And the so Delhi High Court also has the Mediation and Conciliation Center, which is instrumental in disposing of a large number of family disputes. So in cases of special courts, the certain offences which are such like sexual offences against children under the POCSO or the JJ board, they are taking off a lot of cases which would otherwise be pending before the criminal courts. So the specialized courts are also helping in reducing the pendency, sir.
Why the government or the Supreme Court gave a direction that any particular case of this nature has to be completed within a specific period only? Is it possible?
So in case of sexual offences or sensitive cases such as rape, completion of the investigation or the trial within a specified timeline, so will alleviate the suffering of the victim. These are considered to be heinous and serious offences, and prolonging the trial would only prolong the suffering of the victim. Plus, it shows the government's and the court's intolerance towards such crimes, and so a strong stand has to be taken. That is why, sir.
Okay. How do you perceive the future of Indian judiciary?
Sir, I believe the Indian judiciary system is uh, is extremely instrumental in upholding the faith of the people in judiciary. Even
Hmm.
when the large, in fact, Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud in a conference also stated that the large number of pendency of cases can also be looked in a positive way because it reflects the faith of people in the judiciary. And
Hmm.
so I believe in any case of executive or legislative inaction or state inaction or infringement of rights of citizens against each other, the judiciary plays the balancing act and ensures that the rights which are guaranteed to us by the Constitution is safeguarded. So it plays an instrumental role and fundamental role for our democracy.
Hmm. What are the limitation of judicial review in India?
So the limitations of judicial review is basically a self-restraint which the courts exercise, and the power of judicial review in cases of executive action is only when the actions are malified or it has been granted on erroneous grounds or ignoring material grounds. Then only in those cases judicial review is generally exercised. But in case of any violation of the fundamental rights, the courts have power to judicially review and see whether the violation of fundamental rights is done and then declare the law to be invalid or inconsistent to the extent of such violation.
Can a civil case become a criminal case also?
No, sir. Sir, there can be parallel remedies for certain offences, but if a case is pending before the civil court, then the criminal aspect of it cannot be taken care of.
See, like cyber crimes or frauds,
Yes, sir.
and well, Section 138 of NI Act.
Yes, sir. So
Though they,
yes,
those
sir.
are recovery matters and all civil nature, but it becomes criminal case,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, Saket sir.
Hmm. Hello, Shreya.
Hello, sir.
You like to read?
Yes, sir.
What do you read?
Sir, mostly fiction.
Okay. Who's your favorite author?
Um, so it is difficult for me to pick one right now. Hmm. So because I've not read too many books of one author as such, so I don't have a favorite author.
All right. Do you think reading fiction also helps? Yes, that is the question.
Sorry, sir, I think the connection got cut off.
Yeah. So I'm saying, do you think reading fiction also helps?
So it definitely helps in ensuring that my mind is engaged in a proper and meaningful way instead of wasting time watching television. And so it also gives us insight and perspective into a lot of different ideas around the world. So if I can give an example, I read a book by a comedian who talked about his life when he was growing up in South Africa during the apartheid regime. And while I had limited understanding of the apartheid regime as such, but understanding the insights of a person who has grown up there and born there and going through the struggles of it was a different perspective. So,
Okay. So, how was your experience at law firm? In which area did you work?
sir, I worked in the mergers and acquisitions team, and so my experience was quite good.
Okay, but you didn't want to pursue it further?
So while I enjoyed the work that was given to me and the working environment was also quite conducive, but since, sir, I always wanted to be a judicial officer and took up the job only because of financial constraints. When things got better, sir, I did not change my mind. I wanted to pursue my dreams, sir.
Okay. What other judicial exams have you appeared for?
Sir, I appeared for the Rajasthan Judicial Service exams. Sir, I could not clear the mains.
Uh, so I think there's some network error. I'm saying, what other judicial exams have you appeared for?
Sir, I appeared for the Rajasthan Judicial Service exam. However, sir, I was not able to qualify mains.
Okay. So have you appeared for West Bengal Judiciary also?
No, sir, I have not appeared, sir.
Okay. So given an option between Rajasthan and Delhi, which judiciary would you choose?
Sir, I would choose Delhi, sir.
The reason?
Uh, So actually, it has to do with personal reasons. My family and friends stay in Delhi. Plus, I've always lived in a metropolitan city, so it will be easier for me to adjust in a city such as Delhi. And I'll be surrounded by people, my friends and my family. So it'll be easier for me to adjust in the city and stay there.
Will it be easier for you to adjust in city, or it will be difficult for you to adjust in a village?
So I think both, sir. But if work had, so if I was given a chance to serve in Rajasthan, so I would have find a way to will myself to adjust there also. But so it would be convenient for me to be in Delhi.
Okay. Uh, can you explain it to me the concept of onerous gift?
Yes, sir. Sir, the provision of onerous gift has been given under Section 127 of the Transfer of Property Act, where through a single transaction, a person has given a gift and a certain obligation to the donee. The donee has to accept the entire transaction. He cannot pick and choose from that. So he has to accept the gift as well as the obligation which is attached to such gift.
Okay. Shreya, I want some real life example of principles of natural justice. Can you give me that?
Sir, I'll try, sir. Um, mm. So, for example, so if I can give an example from my community where I live, so there was a case where a staff member was about to be removed from his post because of certain misconduct that he had done. However, sir, before removal, all the community members said that before he's given an opportunity to be heard and explain what actually happened because of which he's being removed, he should not be removed. So I think the opportunity of presenting his side can be an example of principles of natural justice.
Okay. Shreya, as per you, what should be the role of sentencing when it comes to a society like ours?
So I think there has to be a balance which has to be drawn between the reformative and the deterrent aspect of sentencing. It should be appropriate to deter the person from committing the crime again, while also giving him an opportunity if the circumstances suggest that he can be reformed. Then it should not be so onerous that there's no opportunity left for him to be integrated into the society again after his sentencing is over.
Do you think death penalty should be abolished?
So the legislature, in its wisdom, has not abolished death penalty, and the constitutionality of such has also been upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court in their judicial wisdom. So in that case, I do not have any contrary opinion.
Okay, that's your personal opinion also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the legal rationale for privacy rights?
So privacy has been declared to be a fundamental right under Article 21 by the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India in 2017. So that is why protecting privacy is important, and certain laws have been implemented for that regard as well.
Okay. Just last two questions.
Yes, sir.
How are you going to handle potential conflict in a case? Let's suppose there is a potential conflict of interest in a case. How are
Yes,
you
sir.
going
Okay.
to handle that?
Sir, I'll see if the conflict of interest is such a degree that it will give an impression that I might be biased to the litigants. In that case, sir, I will recuse myself. But after disclosing all the facts, if the parties or their pleaders agree that I can continue and there's no basis or there's no impression in their minds of any bias on my end, so then I'll continue with the case.
So first you'll explain it to the parties, or first you'll think about recusal?
Uh, Sir, I'll explain to the parties.
Okay. All right. My last question, what do you mean by original jurisdiction?
Yes, sir. So original jurisdiction with reference to a court means that the suit or proceeding can be instituted in that court first, and they will have the jurisdiction to entertain it in their as their original jurisdiction.
what is the original jurisdiction of Supreme Court of India?
Yes, sir. Sir, under Article 131, the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court has been provided. In case of any dispute between the government of India and one or more states,
Any
the,
other,
sir, sorry.
any other, one is Article 131, you are correct. Any
Yes,
other?
sir. Sir, Article 32 is also considered to be the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, but it's not the exclusive jurisdiction.
Why is it not exclusive?
So, because the litigant can also approach the High Court under Article 226 for the enforcement of fundamental rights.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Shreya, can you tell me what is the difference between constitution bench and regular bench?
Yes, sir. Sir, constitutional bench for deciding any matters of constitutional importance will generally consist of 5 or more judges, whereas a regular bench can be of a single judge or 2 judges as well, or the 3 judges, anything.
Mostly in High Court and Supreme Court, how many judges are there in a bench?
So in a high court, there can be a single judge division as well, and there can be a division bench which will constitute of 2 judges. And sir, in Supreme Court, sir, I think there are 2 judges and 3 judges. The benches sit in that order, sir.
You think or it is?
So for Supreme Court, I'm not certain.
You are not certain. What is the essential element of for a valid contract under Indian Contract Act?
So the essentials have been given under Section 10 of the Indian Contract Act. The parties have to be competent to contract. They should have given free consent. There should be a lawful consideration, a lawful object, and it should not otherwise be declared as void by the Contract Act.
What can be the void?
So, for example, agreement in restraint of trade or agreement in restraint of marriage or a wager agreement, such agreements are declared to be void by the Contract Act. So, the contract, in order to be valid, should not be any of these.
Any persons, two persons can enter into a contract, or there is a definition also for person to enter into a contract.
Yes, sir. So, Section 11 and 12 of the Contract Act defines the competency. The party has to be major and of sound mind and not otherwise disqualified by law. And for sound mind, sir, if they're able to understand the consequences of the contract that will have upon their interests, then they can be considered sound and they can enter into the contract.
This is what I wanted in your
Yes.
answer.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
And what are the what is the difference between non-bailable and bailable?
Yes, sir. Sir, under the Criminal Procedure Code, if the offense has been qualified as non-bailable under the schedule of the Act, schedule of the code, then it will be non-bailable, and bail cannot be given as a matter of right. But in case of bailable offenses, bail can be given as a matter of right.
What are the some recent important cases, 2, 3 of Supreme Court of India?
Um, so one would be the Vihan Kumar versus State of Haryana judgment, which spoke about fundamental right under Article 222. So the other can be Muhammad Abdul Samad versus State of Telangana, where the Honorable Supreme Court spoke about the maintenance rights of a Muslim divorced woman under Section 125 of the CRPC. Sir, can I say a judgment from 2 years back?
Recent, I'm asking. Okay, you can
Recent.
tell whatever you want to tell.
Sir, recent. So the sir, I'm not certain of the recent important judgment.
Okay. Can you tell me principles of vicarious liabilities in tort law?
Yes, sir. Sir, under tort law, generally vicarious liability can be attached to the employer or the principal of the person. In case the act has been done by a person and it can be attributed to the principal by virtue of the act, the nature of the act. In that case, the liability can be attached to the principal or the employer of the person.
Sir asked you regarding the jurisdiction. How many
Yes, sir.
types of jurisdictions are there?
Sir, original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, The Supreme Court also has the advisory jurisdiction.
Uh, what about pecuniary jurisdiction?
Oh, sir, yes, sir. So pecuniary jurisdiction, territorial jurisdiction, subject matter
Yes.
jurisdiction. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And can you tell me that under TPA, how many types of mortgages are there?
Yes, sir. So there are six types of mortgages under the Transfer of Property Act. There is a simple mortgage, mortgage by conditional sale, usufructuary mortgage, English mortgage, mortgage by deposit of title deeds, and anomalous mortgage.
What are the type of mortgages which are prevalent in India?
Sir, apart from generally apart from English mortgage and mortgage by deposit of title deeds, all the mortgages are prevalent in India.
No, no, no. EMT, that is deposit of title deeds, is more prevalent in India.
So I apologize, sir.
Yeah, no, I'm just telling you.
Yes,
And
sir.
moreover, whether agricultural land can have EMT.
Sir, I'm not certain, but I think not.
Okay. Then what type of mortgage can be done in that case?
So simple mortgage can be done because then the possession of the land does not have to be transferred.
It's a registered mortgage.
Yes, sir. Registered mortgage.
Registered mortgage.
Yes, sir.
And in your opinion, whether the principle of natural justice are freely enjoyed by Indian citizens?
Yes, sir. So because of the judiciary, sir, I think the citizens are able to enjoy principles of natural justice. So, for example, in the demolition case, so that was another important case of the Supreme Court, in which the Supreme Court gave guidelines regarding demolition of structures. Because of the judiciary's intervention, principles of natural justice were ensured.
Okay, what is the difference between uh, injunction and stay?
So, sir, injunction is generally a relief which is granted in order to restrain a person from doing any act. Whereas stay could be, sir, stay of the proceedings, where the proceedings are not continued further in the court because of any reason such as a revision is pending or any reference is pending. So in that case,
See, one of the fundamental rights are right to religion,
yes, sir.
isn't it? So
Yes,
whether
sir.
the conversion is also a right to religion.
Sir, if the conversion is done voluntarily and without any coercion, then it can be considered to be fundamental right of religion. Because sir, the personal laws also provide that if a person has converted from any other religion to a Hindu religion, then the Hindu Marriage Act is applicable to him. So conversion as such per se is not barred by our jurisprudence.
Any recent judgment on Section 498A on Hindu Marriage Act?
So, sorry, sir, I'm not able to
No,
recall.
no issue, no issue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.